Okay. I'd like to call the March 21st, 2022 Charter Revision Commission to order and with a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, starting off with that.
Virginia Sampietro.
Tom Sinkwitz.
June Gagney.
Lynn Stearns.
Matthew Radin.
Trey Arden.
Public comment. Oh, I'm sorry. Approval of minutes of the special charter revision from March 7th, 2022. Does everybody?
I still have.
I did not, yes.
Were they posted?
Yes. Yes, that was
I tried to
posted.
print them out today and
Sure.
of course it didn't work.
They look okay to me.
Oh, you must have.
One of the most important things is we have the first 3 meetings listed on the, which tonight is one of them, listed on the minutes.
So what were the 3 meetings next June?
March 21st tonight, April 5th, which is a public hearing, and April 18th, which is a regular meeting starting at. According to the rules.
Oh,
Hi. Hello.
It's a busy night in the town hall.
I guess it is.
It's
Wow.
Little League style.
Oh, okay. I know, right.
Good.
Real quick.
Yes, I'm looking for a motion to accept the
I move to
minutes.
accept the minutes of March 7th.
Do I have a second? Hey, Jenny. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Now we're on to public comment. Do you have any input from the public? All right, we'll move on to old business. We have to continue and establish a schedule of meetings. I have, let's see, after the April 18th, we go on to the next week.
So was April 18th the regular?
Yeah, that's a regular meeting. And we have that list that we were working with.
And April 5th is a public.
April,
hearing.
right, April 5th is a public hearing, because April 4th is a town meeting, I believe. It's still on the agenda. Does everybody still have the paper that we were working with? Okay. Went all the way to the 18th.
I have a question.
Yes.
Are your meetings always on Monday nights?
I think we're going to try always on Monday nights, because it seems like the night we were able to get everyone together, and all of them will be at 6:30.
Yeah, well, see, I have a Rotarian,
Okay, you're.
and we meet on Monday nights.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So June 3rd? Oh, sorry, May 3rd?
Well, we're on
Still May.
April.
Yep.
Yeah, April 5th.
Oh, we're going back, okay.
April 5th.
We're just
That's where we
confirming the
ended.
dates we've established, right?
Yes,
Okay, yep, I've got Tuesday, April 5th, and then Monday, April 18th.
right, and then the 18th. Yeah,
So Tuesday, April 5th is on a Tuesday?
yeah,
Oh, that's
that one's on a
wonderful.
Tuesday,
Yeah?
because there's a town meeting on
Yeah, the
Monday.
day before. Right.
Yes. But we were trying to keep them on Mondays, because we didn't have everyone at the same time, but there's not going to be a lot of meetings.
So it won't be weekly then?
No,
Oh,
no.
okay.
We're actually trying to establish, the first thing, we had to have a public hearing right away because, before we discuss anything.
Yep.
So tonight, we'll pray, if we have any ideas we want to write down for changes, or and things that we feel are important, we'll write them down tonight, but we won't work on them until the public hearing takes place.
Good.
It's kind of a special formula, if you want. And I have the meeting, if we go from April 18th, there's a Board of Selectmen on the 25th, so we go to the next available
available month, and there's a budget hearing May 2nd. Yeah, and it's on a Monday.
Can we go ahead and start that?
But May 4th, May 3rd is the Board of Finance. But I don't know if anybody can make it on Wednesday. May 4th is open.
I can make May 4th.
You can make May 4th, okay.
I would say
Oh, yeah. Oh, but your Board of Finance is on the 3rd.
oh, I knew
Yeah, for some reason it's on the 3rd.
Okay. Yeah, as long as.
I want to make sure. Let me check.
Go to May.
So May 4th, so May 4th is Wednesday, possibly.
And what's that? May 4th.
That's it.
No, May 4th is a Wednesday.
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 Not a budget.
For some reason, see Tom, the Board of Finance is on Tuesday that week.
Yeah, it shows an empty.
I don't know why. Do you have that also?
Not listed here.
Okay.
Do you have the board of, the
That's what I was
the
going to ask.
budget?
Do you happen to have the budget
Schedule?
calendar?
I can go get it real quick. In the meantime,
May is still with budget events.
Kevin, I have it right in mind. You want to grab it? Yeah.
We can hold them like that.
We're all set with March. We're all set with April.
April 5th and April 18th.
Right. And now we're on we have a budget, revise and set budget on May 3rd. So that's meeting to revise and set budget, so that's no good, that's a Tuesday. And then we've got,
Did we agree on May 4th?
not yet,
Okay.
yeah, it says, meeting to revise and set budget is on May 3rd. And then,
That's just submitting to the newspaper.
yeah, that's to the newspaper, published recommended budget.
So there's nothing.
There's
but
nothing
four.
on that, so the 4th would work then.
Yeah.
We don't have any other meetings.
Okay. I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
John said he was good.
Matt's good,
Seems like
Travis,
everybody
you're
is.
good
What
there
time?
too.
6:30.
All at 6:30, just to avoid any confusion.
Yes.
I'll move that we set May 4th, Wednesday at 6:30 PM as our meeting following the Monday, April 18th meeting.
Wait, second?
All in favor?
Aye.
So far, we have how many meetings? I lost my everything under here.
I have 3, 5th, 18th, and May 4th.
Okay.
April 5th, the 18th.
Then the next one, Monday has an annual budget on the 16th. Board of Selectmen on Monday is on the 9th. Board of Selectmen is on the 23rd, another Monday.
So the 17th.
Yeah, I think the 17th might be good.
May
Inland
7th.
Wetland. But that's a Tuesday, Connie. Can you make it on a Tuesday? You can make it on Tuesdays. See, now I lied. It's not all going to be Monday.
Good,
They're
good.
moving around.
Yeah. So you said May 17th on a,
Yeah, May 17th.
on a Tuesday. Okay,
Even though that's wetlands.
excellent.
You have to have wetlands that
Yes, it is.
I'll move that we add Tuesday, May 17th at 6:30 PM to be our meeting following the May 4th meeting.
We have a move. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I don't don't think we'd be ready. We might be ready by then to discuss final changes. I don't know, final draft report. I have a schedule here, but
What date do you have that as, for the final report?
well, this is just a suggested report that Kevin gave us, and it's 5/2022, so it could be anywhere in May.
So this next meeting would be the one before our second public hearing.
Yeah, that's what we have to figure out, the next public hearing.
I thought that was April 5th.
That's the first one?
That's the first.
Yes, and then the second one takes place when we have more information, I believe. You can actually have a few of them.
Big question is the town hall open on the 31st of May, which is the day after Memorial Day?
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah.
That's right.
Which date?
It's
Memorial
Tuesday,
Day.
May 31st.
Yeah.
May 30th is Memorial Day, so
Yes, town hall's
it
closed.
won't be open.
Yeah.
So it won't be open on the 31st either?
It'll be
Yeah,
open
well,
Tuesday, right?
Oh, then
it'll
we
be open
could,
next week.
maybe for the public hearing. I don't know if it would be good to have it then. We have to meet with the Board of Selectmen at some
When
point.
we have to do that, yeah. Yes.
The second one, when we did it last year, we had March 18th was our public hearing. Then we had another one in June 3rd. I'm wondering,
June 1st would be appropriate?
that's a Wednesday. Let me look
Yeah.
at the schedule on the calendar. Yeah, there's nothing on calendar, Wiz.
Would you want to put an adequate amount of time between adopting the final draft report and putting the public hearing on the calendar?
Yeah, do you think that's on?
I think
it's too short.
I think it should at least allow a week.
Okay,
I think that's a reasonable amount of time
okay,
for the public
so
to.
we can find another one. Oh, we have Easter somewhere. No, not yet.
I guess the
We
weekend
passed
before the
that.
Yeah, we're
19th
past
of
there,
April.
yeah, we're past that, I think.
Yeah.
That was in April. We're going through the year fast.
What about the following week, the week of June 6th?
June 6th, there's nothing on Monday, no Board of Selectmen.
Right.
So that for the public hearing?
Yeah, we have it back on a Monday again.
So
There's actually very little on this, on June, the second week in June, it's very little. Zoning Board of Appeals on the 7th.
And we were going with May 31st for that one, for the meeting?
I wrote that down.
Yeah.
Was it possible?
Yeah.
All right, to finalize our, before we present it?
it's just under a week. I think that would still be reasonable.
Okay,
So May 31st for the discussion of final draft. Oh, that's a Tuesday.
okay, that would be 2 weeks after the 17th.
Yep.
So May 31st,
And
and then June
June 6th.
6th. How does that sound to everyone? June 6th for the public hearing. Unless you want to go back to the Monday.
June
Well,
6th.
June 6th is the Monday.
Yeah, June
Oh,
6th
good,
is the-
okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
June 6th is the
Okay.
Monday.
Sorry,
That's okay.
I'm gonna put that down too.
Okay.
I'll move that we add Tuesday, May 31st at 6:30 PM for the discussion of final changes and preparations for a final draft report.
Okay, do we have a second on that?
Second.
All in favor? Opposed?
And I'll move that we add to the calendar Monday, June 6th for the second public hearing at 6:30 PM.
Second.
Second on Lynn. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That gives us how many so far?
Seven.
7?
Starting April 5th.
Yeah, yeah.
7.
We gotta trust the math major.
Yeah, I can
here.
still count.
Oh, that's wonderful. We have a math major. That's right, I forgot.
18th,
And here we are doing the schedule.
4, 17, 31, 6.
June
Six.
6th, public
Yeah, well, we
hearing.
got that's number
And then we move
1,
on
2,
to.
3, 4, 5, 6. 6 dates.
Not
So
7.
would we be planning to, after all, let's bring it to a vote in fall?
I believe so.
Yes.
Selectmen have to have public hearings as well, that's in that document.
Yeah,
My,
okay.
We make adjustments, we go back and forth with you and see what we can come up with. We can do the final vote on it, and we bring it out to the, the attorney verifies what's two things. One is legality of what you're asking for, and then the second part of that is the wording on how it goes out. Just so we can be clear about it, what you're putting on the actual vote for the referenda or election portion of it is a small question on the top that you have to really impress upon the public and they understand what that means. The second part of that is if it passes, what the legal document actually changes, the wording changes inside the charter. And the final piece of that obviously is after that meeting or after that vote, to properly get it into the state of Connecticut so that it can be done in a timely fashion. And then the final piece is a new print.
That sounds doable. I mean, you can always run into some bumps, but.
Yeah, I think the idea that you're laying out your calendar ahead of time is very helpful because then if there is some article being put in the paper or the way you want to present it onto a video of some sort to the public to help them out, then it really does show them, here's the steps we have to go through. We really need you here for your public input. If you can't make it, can you send us some sort of a notification, a letter or something that gives us some idea of what you're looking for? We can always call you to ask very specific questions if we weren't clear on what you wrote. And that gives everybody an ample opportunity to put something in.
I think that sounds good.
So after that June 6th meeting then,
We need another.
we need to have one, is it too soon to do it the next week? Or
Well, we
let's
have,
do
the next week will be a Board of Selectmen on Monday, that's a busy week, Board of Finance on Wednesday.
this meeting and
But the 20th is another Monday. And that's a busy week too.
Nothing on Monday now?
Nothing on Monday, Conservation Commission at 7.
Why do they have
So we could put another meeting
Why do
in
they
then,
have a meeting?
if it's all right with everyone.
It's in that list somewhere. I just don't have it in front of me.
I'm not sure I can be there on the 20th of June.
Those are busy weeks.
Yeah, it's a graduation.
Oh, sure.
That's right.
And I don't know
Yeah.
what my children's
Graduations,
graduation is,
yeah.
but this one is in Manchester, so,
Plainfield is towards the end of the month in June.
okay.
Does anybody know offhand how many snow days there have been?
Well, we could, the 28th is Tuesday, we'd be back on a Tuesday, Police Commission at 6:30. We could have it
So
that
do-
night
Instead of the 20th?
instead of the 20th. If that, if
That's
you
good,
make it
yeah,
on
that's fine
Tuesday,
for me.
that would be good, do that.
I'm flexible.
Okay. The chief came back.
Yeah, you seem to be following the.
We're doing all these issues.
So that would be to complete the final draft following the public hearing?
Yes, yeah, there's Board of Selectmen meetings too, but I'm not sure which ones that you're gonna have us come to.
Do you have a copy of the full calendar? I mean, your full suggested dates?
Two-sided document?
Oh, that, yeah. Or this, yeah, this one. So many papers are coming.
I know, I couldn't even find all the papers.
I'll go back and take a look, but I think that your meeting with the April 18th is your recommendations to the Board of Selectmen, and then the Board of Selectmen are required to at least have one, if not two, public hearings. So let me go back and I will Well, it's something that you would have to have
Okay.
on your calendar dates,
Right.
but the board selectmen, yeah, the board selectmen will put forth something.
Okay.
And we'll send you the email to share with you what those dates will be.
And what about the two suggestions on here? It says submit draft report to town clerk and town clerk submits to board of selectmen. There's a question mark of dates on it. Is that something that we have to figure out?
That's probably the issues we talked about with the attorney, because she has to have it in hand. I think the state gets that as well.
State gets 3 certified copies, once it's done and complete. So having the wording done prior to putting it out for vote definitely makes that process move much smoother.
So one of these meetings in June, you're saying, discuss the final report?
Yeah, you have a draft by then, which you believe is going to be going forward from your board. I'll take that draft and immediately put it over to the attorney and have him start reviewing it.
Well, how about the 28th then for that?
Are these, is the submit draft report and town clerk submits, do those necessarily have to be meeting dates, or are those deadlines that we should set?
I think those
so
are
that there's
deadlines.
a understanding of when those documents are being received.
Right, that's what
Deadlines.
Deadlines, okay, not meeting dates then.
No, not me,
Okay.
but there's a, I'm looking at the Board of Selectmen meeting to discuss the final report.
So the 31st is a meeting of May,
Yep.
Yes.
and that, after that is the final draft.
It's a public hearing, June 6th.
Public
Then we have a
hearing in
public
June.
hearing. And then what do you need to do after the public hearing? Is that what?
We need a draft from that night.
Okay.
From that
That'd be
night.
submitted to you.
Yeah, because then
right?
our next meeting is
Here
actually the very
before,
next Monday. The Board of Selectmen can review.
Oh, good.
Good,
Okay.
oh, good, that's.
Yes.
Oh, okay, so that's good.
So then you review it by then, and then,
Probably call for our public hearing.
okay. Yes, that's-
But we would still need the commission to meet to, I'm assuming, vote to approve and complete the final draft at a meeting.
I think if you look at the paperwork that I gave you that shows you the actual state statute, it also gives you the idea that the Board of Selectmen would have the final say on whatever you put forward.
Yeah.
Does it have- Do you have an extra copy of that?
no, that's,
Oh, here's this fix.
I'll get you one. I just gotta find it in here.
I can go
You
make
got it?
copies too.
here, you know what, I'm gonna take that to Mark.
It's the only thing we can do is
Yeah.
photocopy.
I think.
She's got a nice
Yeah,
jacket.
so-
on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the back.
Did you get that tonight?
That's okay.
All right.
Is there another thing you need
Is
copies of?
everything else, yeah, everything else is
Oh, yeah.
She's got a whole packet here.
So if our public hearing is on June 6th,
Right.
and that would be basically the last bit of public input we would receive as a commission before making our final chances. Maybe the following week, I know it starts to become busy, but do you feel like we're gonna need a full week to, or more than a
Oh,
full
yeah.
week to take the public's input into consideration when putting together that final draft to submit to the town clerk and then to the Board of Selectmen? Because if not, that's something we could probably knock out the following week.
Yeah.
And that would be the week where Monday is the 13th, Friday is the 17th.
And the 13th is the Board of Selectmen meeting.
You're in June,
Right, in June.
I think the Board of Finance has a meeting on the 15th,
Yes, and things up to the
on
14th.
the 14th. Okay.
Yeah, it's a busy week. That's why I was looking at the 28th.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why I went down to that one.
the 21st?
That's another Tuesday, we could do it.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
possible.
That's good.
That might be
I think
sooner
the
better.
21st.
Yes.
The only reason why is the end of June, if you look at July 4th,
Yes,
it is on a Monday.
yes.
I guarantee you're not gonna get too many people on a week before July 4th.
I don't think
You may see the RVs leaving, but no one's staying.
so. Right. So,
All right, so I'll make a motion that the meeting
When do you want the
following the second public
Board of
hearing will be Tuesday,
Take a
June
look at what we figured
21st
out.
at 6:30 PM.
second,
So I think they just want to be on.
June 21st at 6:30. We have a motion. Do you have a second?
Thank you very much.
Lynn? All in favor? Aye.
And then the 28th is when?
No, that was just a date we had thrown out there.
Okay, so.
The 21st would be I have the old schedule from last year. Public hearing and regular meeting. I think what happened was we scheduled another meeting in July and we canceled it because we didn't
Yes,
need
we
it.
didn't need it. We did cancel.
We didn't schedule another one just so we had it.
So would there be anything to stop us from just setting the following two notes on here as the 22nd as our deadline, since we would be voting on these final recommendations the night before?
The night after the public hearing.
Well, the night after our meeting following the hearing. So after the June 21st meeting,
Which is the public hearing?
that's a.
No.
That's a
No, that's-
final.
Yeah. The public hearing is the 6th.
Yep, so your second public hearing would be on June 6th. The meeting following that, where we would complete the final draft, following the public's input, would be the June 21st.
Yeah.
And the next two notes here are the submitting of the draft report and then the town clerk's actions. Is there anything wrong with a proposed June 22nd date on those, since we will have already completed our leg of that journey at that point?
I don't think there's a problem. It's one night after. And the Ag Commission's meeting downstairs, so.
We wouldn't be technically meeting for it anyway, it would just be
We
to
just
make
have
sure
to submit it.
it's
Yes,
submitted.
yeah.
This is a
Yeah, we
better
can
way to
do
look
that.
at how we're going
Just
to
a
do our
quick-
crafting for what we have
quick
by
meeting
state
and
statute. Each one
submitted
of those
it.
two.
Submitted it to them.
So the 22nd for the final. Submitting, charter
Then
submission.
it would go on the ballot in the fall?
It has to go through some other.
Right.
Well,
But attorneys and, yeah.
When do we give it to the first selectman?
Oh, yes.
I think that's kind of
Do you
important.
have a June date with which you are doing your public hearing? Is it like
Yes.
the first week in June?
The 6th.
6.
June 6th.
All right, so there's a paper that it says all steps and proposed time schedule that I gave everybody.
Yeah.
On that, you have to have at least 2 of the public hearings, by which time, number 5, Connecticut General Statute 7-191, appointing authority must hold, that means us, appointing authority must hold 1 public hearing within 45 days after receiving your report. So if you give it to us to June 6th or June 7th, whatever day that is, and we get that, we have 45 days to schedule our public hearing, and we go on to the next steps and the next step. So we'll be doing that very quickly after that anyway, so it can go very well, very quickly.
That would be mid-July.
Yeah, mid-June.
No.
They're giving it to us June 6th, correct?
No,
Second public
21st,
hearing,
Yep.
22nd.
June 6th.
June 6th, so your second public hearing. After that second public hearing, you can turn it right over to us.
We have,
No.
we adopted June 21st as our meeting following that hearing to complete the final draft.
Because that's the possibility that there could be changes
Yeah.
from that public
From the
hearing.
public.
See, our trigger is receiving your report.
Right.
Oh,
At that point, we wouldn't have submitted it to you yet, just following the second public hearing. Right?
Could you change your 21st meeting to the week of the 6th somewhere? After the public hearing, have another meeting that week, so we can have it on the agenda for the 13th,
okay, let me check this.
right? That's what you wanted on the 13th, right? At least?
If I'm reading,
You can
if
have
I'm reading this paper
Oh,
here,
that
it says
night.
after draft report is completed, but before draft report is submitted to town clerk. So we could still have that June 21st meeting, we would provide you guys a draft. But I understand draft to mean that edits can still be made.
By them or by us?
But then it's another 45 days after that.
Oh, yeah, we need to
He's
watch
saying-
the time before the ballot. That was a problem.
Within 45 days.
Right, within
Right.
40, so we could have it the next day if we want.
Yeah, the week of the
Right.
6th is
Within
open,
45
open. It's, it's the week of the 6th. We can
45
actually-
days is the maximum, not the...
Right.
Okay,
It's not a moratorium.
exactly, yeah.
So we could actually have it the next night, the 7th.
Instead of the 21st.
Right, it moves it forward so things along.
Can I make another quick comment about that? Tom, in the past, when you've had budget, for Board of Finance for budget, you ended the budget, public portion of that meeting. You can then go into open your meeting for your Board of Finance. Could you vote for your charter changes, close off the public hearing in that part of the meeting, open up the next meeting that same night?
Right, the way you word it is, yeah, meeting immediately following public hearing.
Ah, just
On the 6th.
Stacking,
I like that idea.
stacking, yeah, let's do that.
I
Because at that point, all your input is in, you can, debate what you'd like to have or not have, vote on it at that next meeting, that same day, the same night.
Okay, that sounds great.
Got that?
Now, I just erased,
Well, I'm willing to make the motion.
okay.
I'll make the motion that we move our Tuesday, June 21st meeting to Monday, June 6th, immediately following the public hearing.
I'll second that.
Immediately following the public hearing.
And second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
What day of the week is June 6th?
It's a Monday.
Okay, good.
We have one more meeting then, right, after that, or is it?
Oh, if you want to go through the rest of that list, so we can go right
Yes.
through it.
Yes. We have,
So we'd hold one public hearing within 45 days after receiving that report.
The Board of Selectmen?
Yep, so the Board of Selectmen would normally meet on if I'm correct, it would be 13th, I think, June
Yes.
13th.
yeah,
We could have a public hearing that night. Again, same
Oh,
thing,
the one
following
that's
our,
listed here, yes.
either before the Selectmen's meeting, which I would probably go before, hear the public and see what their input is from us, have our meeting, vote to approve or whatever on the numbers of changes, and then be able to be done with that section of it.
The only thing that would screw us up is pension board.
But we
It's
can
at
move the pension to
6:45.
usually only take.
You're saying we should meet at 6:30 that night, or just wait for the Board of Selectmen?
I think the Board of Selectmen would be setting those meeting dates.
Yeah, we'd set
That's
those.
not our prerogative.
That would be
Oh, so
all,
they don't have to
yeah,
worry
that would be
about
all
that.
us on the pension, public hearing, Selectmen meeting, done.
Okay, so we don't have to vote on that, but we'll,
Right, just know that that's on the calendar.
it's definitely gotta be on the calendar.
If we have no changes that's recommended, then the draft is final at that point, we can vote actually on that night. Then it comes back to you, the commission has 30 days in which to accept or reject the proposed changes, if any. If the appointing authority has changes, then the commission must confer with the appointing authority. So we'd be there that night with you, and we can talk about if there's any changes, things we like, don't like, whatever, just talk about it then. Then number 8, appointing authority has 15 days after the commission has accepted or rejected that proposal in which any major vote for its entire membership to either A, approve the charter or amendments or revisions and to do so, approve the charter or amendments or revisions in part. An optional item is a petition, which we don't have at this point because we've already started our charter revision, so you don't have to worry about C. And then D, reject the charter or amendments or revisions in total or in parts. That's when we would actually get down to the brass tacks of what we want to see. Number 9 would be approved charter or amendments or revisions must be published. So again, it's a cooperative work where it's the Charter Revision Commission does a lot of the background to it, but it's always the Board of Selectmen gets the final say. But as long as we're working together through the whole process, I think there won't be any surprises at that point.
As well as the people that get the final say, right?
Yes. But what's put on to the
Right,
vote.
what's given to them.
Yep, so
yeah.
number 9 says that it is approved the charter or amendments or revisions must be published at least once in a local paper within 30 days. So this is that real careful time window. We have to be careful of how we put it in there and when we put it in. And the appointing authority, after approval of petition filed, well, we don't have a petition, must determine whether a vote will be held on charter amendments or revisions after our regular election, in which the case the majority voted in favor of sufficient vote. Okay, that's basically the vote.
That's our intent, right, to do it at the
Yes.
regular election?
My concern is very simple. You find out that you have, from the public, 20 valid things that you want to change in there. It's up to really to all of us to sit down and talk about, what do we want to do? Can it fit 10? Do you want to do a special one just for the 20? So it really depends. Now, if you don't do the 20, just do 10, hypothetically, you're ready to go for the next charter revision change, because there's so many changes that can happen in there. You're ready to go for the next charter revision.
And are people really going to read 20 of them?
That's the problem.
They're
The
not.
one year we did the 14, it was very hectic. But I think we can get a solid 10, the most important ones.
Yeah,
I I think the best thing we mentioned multiple times is pushing the information out to the public. Here's the reason why I think this one needs to change. And explain to them very carefully. I'll just come out and say it. I think what happened last time was we didn't do a good enough job of the numbers in 2.5. We're talking about the changes in the numbers of value. If we're talking about 1984 for the first time through, and you're talking about going to a town meeting for anything up to $49,999, well, those are numbers from 1984.
Yeah.
And the next part of that was, well, if it's over 50,000 and above, it adjourns from that meeting and goes to referendum. And that number, my opinion, I still think needs to change because it's back in 1984 numbers. So I think that it's just a matter of really explaining to the public why that was requested. It has nothing to do with anything else other than the value of the dollar today.
Inflation.
So if we were to, and I would add on the other thing I mentioned before, for every single time you want to go out for, I think it was just after that, section D, see top of my head, section D, 25D is, yep, 25D, any initial application by the town for state or federal grants involving a local financial share estimated to be more than $10,000 in any fiscal year. That's every grant we go for just about. So that means we'll be going back to town meetings of just about every single grant to ask for public's input on what they want to do with it.
That's crazy. Yeah, we don't want that.
I mean, it's great to have grants. They're fantastic. They help. But matching grants where you have to come up with some money, is 10,000 valid? Should it be higher? Like, should it be eliminating the entire thing? I don't know. I think it's something to be discussed though.
Right.
Just make it higher, yeah. We'll have to talk about it. So that's all we need for meetings, then, right? We're pretty much
Yeah, I think we hit.
covered because it goes into you guys.
Could I ask the selectman a question, please? On those grants, in other words, if you get a grant from anybody for the town, you have to also give a grant, put a grant in to get that exact same amount of money the town does?
So we can't even apply for the grant until we go to a town meeting and get approval.
No, I realize that, but I'm saying, suppose you approve and you get the grant. All right, let's say it's $50,000.
Mhm.
Okay, does that mean that, are you saying that the town has to also?
No.
Oh, also?
No, I'm
All
saying
right,
that
that's okay.
there's multitude of grants. One type
Yeah,
has a matching equivalent.
yes, I realize that.
Yep.
You know,
Some
the same
say-
with education.
But some say for matching grants, you can do in-kind services.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
there's different ways around it. It depends on how it's written.
yeah, okay, all right. Thank you.
Yep. And then the other thing is the second page, if you flip it over, you have,
Quick point of order, Madam Chair. I know we're still technically
Yeah,
on
are
the
we
agenda
still-
under establishing.
Oh, sorry.
scheduled meetings. If we
Yes, are
can,
we still?
are we wrapped up with our meetings?
Yes, we are.
I feel like this discussion is
Yes,
best
we
saved for new
can.
business.
One at a time, so we don't have to vote for all of them.
I'm just making sure your dates are correct.
Yeah.
Your part of it is absolutely done. You're correct. Your part's done.
Okay.
The person sitting to my left is now going to have to do the majority of the rest of the work.
Right.
Because we're working with the attorney, she's working with the state of Connecticut, we're
Right.
making sure that it fits on top of the page, we're making sure that everything that we have from the attorney says, yes, these 10 things are okay, I'm just using 10 as a
Yeah.
round number. And then we have to put it in the newspaper,
Right.
so it's really, as you see here, the back page says September 2nd, and then again, these are just estimates. We have to verify that with our calendar for the town of the state of Connecticut. But the municipal clerk has a lot of work to do working with the state and putting the questions on the ballot. So it's really, you guys are done, we're done, it's just,
That's unless they take it to a referendum and do a special,
yes.
so, and they have that option to
Yes.
request that.
I guess it's gonna be very
That's
interesting.
Something I didn't know before. That's new, or?
Well,
I mean, we didn't
I'm
know.
giving that option, and the reason why is because we could keep going back for charter revision changes annually.
No, we
Because-
don't want to do that.
I know, I'm just saying that it's required that we do it every 5, but we've been doing it now, this will be 3.
Yeah.
So a lot of things change, and a lot of things you get to interpret and read through it and say, oh, that's what that means.
If the town calls a special election, or special election referendum,
Referendum.
wouldn't we then have to have the people appointed to seats on other boards up for election in that same time frame because the town would be calling a special election?
It would be a referendum for the charter revision.
So
Yeah,
there would be
specifically
a
for-
distinction between referendum and an election.
Yeah, this is referendum.
We just had a
If you did
referendum.
20, it would be
Okay.
referendum. Yep.
All right, thank you.
Well, the next thing on the agenda is, I put consider and discuss ideas for charter changes, forgetting that we have to have a public hearing before we do that. So I'd kind of like to wait on that and have everyone do homework and write down.
I did some homework already, haven't seen it on the agenda.
Yes, you did. Well, I guess, I mean, we can.
I made some copies just for whoever turned up tonight, just
Okay.
to put my ideas
Oh, that's great.
out there.
Okay.
Can't take credit for all of them, but they've been in one way or another mentioned to me, so.
I just wanted to say that one thing about when you make a list or whatever, you think of looking at the charters, keep in mind that you want to make the town run better.
Right,
That should be the main goal.
right.
The only thing I'll add on to there is that the page numbers, while I believe they should be correct, I don't believe our previous amendments would have moved that around too much on the new copy. I was working off our 2018 updated copy, so page number might be off by one in some instances.
But you have the section, so it should be easy.
Yes.
Between the sections. That's great,
That's great, that was a good idea. Well, with that, I'm looking for a motion to adjourn. All in favor? Oh, Sean.
I got one statement,
Yes.
because obviously I was public comment. We need to correct the town calendar, because when you looked at the calendar, it said this meeting started at 7 o'clock. When you open your agenda, it says 6:30, so you really discredited me, because I missed the meeting because
I'm
your
sorry
calendar
that
isn't
happened.
correct.
I tried 3 times to get that straightened out, but we had a problem today,
Yeah, the whole system.
the whole system. I did,
I-
I will try
How long
harder
has it been posted though?
since Thursday.
So it should have been fixed? Oh, okay.
But if you click on the, I was afraid that would happen.
Yeah, because if you
Click on
look at the
agenda.
calendar, it says 7 o'clock. If you
Yeah.
look at the, I didn't look at the agenda until I got here, and
Yeah.
because I realized it was well into the
6:30, yeah.
meeting, it wasn't even 7 o'clock yet.
Right.
Yeah.
It says 7 PM to like, I don't know, 9
9?
AM or something. It's just a
So-
glitch right now.
Something's got to be fixed, because this has been happening quite a bit lately.
Okay, we have a motion to adjourn and a second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
That's why Kyle was going to teach Jordan.
Yes, there was a problem.